Today I'm going to be presenting on the artist Martin Senn. He was a German sculptor known for making detailed wire sculptures that look like three-dimensional line drawings. He took everyday objects like phone cameras or clothing and made them look into thin metal wire sculptures. His work looks simple at first, but when you look closely, you can see how many details he really puts in. Today I'm going to show you 3 different types of pieces that he would make and talk about the 4 tools of artistic critique: describe, analyze, interpret, and evaluate. So the first one I'm going to talk about is everyday type objects. This is a picture of his telephone sculpture he made. At first it looks like a quick sketch, but it's actually built out of bent and twisted wire that forms shapes. He uses the wire in the same way someone would use a pencil. The empty spaces are part of the artwork, so the object feels light and airy. I think that he's trying to show us that everyday things can be interesting if we really look at them. I like this one because it's simple but still very clear, and it shows that he's talented in turning things into something ordinary and into a beautiful artwork. So the second type of things he would make into his wire sculptures is retro objects. So this is an image of a motorcycle that he created into a sculpture, as well as a telescope. So this one, it looks like a quick sketch as well, and it's kind of like a nostalgic object. So like vintage motorcycle or this telescope we see here, because the wire is thin and light, the object looks almost like a memory instead of something real. To me, this piece represents how we remember old objects from the past, and some of these things we might not be able to physically see, but like the memory and everything is still there through his sculpture. I chose this because it feels emotional and creative, and even though it's light and open, you can still instantly recognize what it is through the way he's built his sculptures. So this next one is out of the ordinary objects. So these ones are a little bit more creative and more like fairy tale type things instead of just the everyday things that we actually have seen. So he outlines it with the wire as well, just like a drawing, and creating something that we don't always see, so it's an imagination coming to life through the wire. The empty space gives us room for our minds to create what else we want to see. It's not in color or anything, so we can kind of come up with that in our minds and maybe even play out a little story. I think he makes these to think about the objects and to use our imagination to create what we're wanting to see. And just like with this carriage image, we see that the horse is moving the carriage with the man driving it, but we don't actually see it moving, but in our head we start to play it out through the details. This piece is one of my favorites because it's super creative, and he doesn't just copy everyday items, he also just turns them into something new through his sculptures. And then this is all of my sites that I used to create this and to do the research on my artist. Thanks for watching.